Stamp duty could be scrapped for the purchase of additional homes. The National Residential Landlords Association is calling for the Chancellor, Jeremy Hunt, to abolish the 3% stamp duty levy on additional homes, including buy-to-let properties, ahead of their March budget announcement. It's the 31st of January 2024 at time of recording this video. I'm going to give you my opinion, so not advice, my opinion on what this could mean for the rental market, for buy-to-let properties, for potential landlords and buy-to-let investors. So here's an article from Property Eye Industry, and this was published on the 29th of January 2024, just 2 days before recording this video. Now, what you're going to see here, increasing the supply of homes for private rent would boost the government's finances by around £10 billion, equivalent to almost the entire affordable homes budget, according to the National Residential Landlords Association. So this is the assessment following the submission of the NRLA's proposal to the government ahead of the budget on March the 6th, basically saying there's a supply crisis in the rental market. What they've said here is that for every property that's coming into the market and for rent, there's 11 prospective tenants who want to rent that property, meaning that there's a lack of supply of rental properties in the current market. Now, this bit is mind-blowing. The independent analysis by capital economists also reveals how scrapping the 3% stamp duty levy on the purchase of additional homes would see almost 900,000 new private rented homes made available within the UK. So according to that statement, what that means is if the additional stamp duty was scrapped, further 900,000 homes would become available for rent. Now, in turn, what this means is that more buy-to-let landlords or potential buy-to-let property investors will be able to get onto the property ladder to purchase a buy-to-let property and add to their portfolio or start growing a portfolio. Because as a mortgage broker, what I do see a lot of times is clients want to purchase rental properties because they see it as a long-term investment. But sometimes what's holding them back is the additional stamp duty levy that the government has introduced years ago. Now, this is a stumbling block because not only when you're buying a property do you need the deposit, you need the fees, so your broker fees, your solicitor fees, but you need the stamp duty. Now, you just want to see here, look, if someone's buying a property worth 300,000, I'm going to show you a calculation on how this makes a big difference. So what I've got up here is a stamp duty calculator. And what we're going to work out here is we're going to assume someone is buying a property worth 300,000. So assuming that the additional stamp duty wasn't there, this is just approximate figures, is £2,500. Now, with the additional stamp duty, the amount is £11,500. So that is £9,000 more that someone has to pay for a property worth £300,000 with the current additional stamp duty levy. So clearly what you can see here is if you're only paying, for example, £2,500 for a property worth 300,000 stamp duty, it will open up more doors for potential investors because they're going to have more funds to use towards the deposit of the property. So clearly what we've got here is we've got a lack of stock in the rental market for people to rent properties. Now, if this stamp duty levy was abolished, I think it would be great for a lot of my clients especially, and I'm sure for a lot of yourselves, because it just means that you've got less money to pay the government on stamp duty and more money to put towards the deposit for the property. Because in the current climate in January 2024, mortgages are a lot harder to get, not just because of the additional stamp duty, just because the rates are a lot higher and the rental stress tests are higher, meaning that your standard 25% deposit that people assume you need to put down for a buy-to-let property, depending on what part of the country you're buying in, you might need to put more. So in my part of the world in London, a lot of my clients are having to put at least 30 to 35% deposit down for a property. On that example of 300,000, if they had an additional 9k to use towards their deposit, I'm pretty sure that's going to make a big difference on the movement of potential buy-to-let landlords or potential property investors in buying a property. This is not confirmed. This is just a rumor and a proposal that's being provided to Jeremy Hunt. Now, there is an election coming up, so we don't know if this is just a ploy for maybe them trying to get more votes. But In my opinion, if this does happen, it's going to help not just the buy-to-let property market, but potential home movers who own property in the background as well. If you wanted a residential home and you're looking to move, but you own a rental property, you won't get penalized on that additional stamp duty. Just as if you're looking to build a portfolio or buy your first rental property, it won't penalize you because you just have to pay the normal stamp duty. And at the same time, there'll be more properties available in the rental market for the high demand as we saw earlier. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you think the additional stamp duty levy should be abolished? Will it help the rental market? Will it help potential property investors or buy-to-let landlords buy another property and get onto the property ladder? Let me know in the comments.